You're now listening to No Gimmicks.
No Gimmicks podcast, and we bring it to you. Every time we turn live, and you know it's the truth. Every after show, moving down, this the time we move around. No Gimmicks podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring. This is the time for no gimmicks, no, we doing our thing. What's your state of mind, state of mind? Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, no gimmicks. We take you to your limit, what's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on, it's the time. Guarantee we move, you know how we respond. The state design, the state design when we feel it. Moving down, what's the healing? No gimmicks is the feeling.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN, and we got a special show today. I'm gonna dedicate this one to the fan base because I feel like the wrestling fan base gets kind of a bad rap, and which is why when I saw this guy in Vegas and I bought some of his products, I was like, bro, I gotta have this guy on because he is perfect. Wrestling fans, we get a lot of bad flack for the way we smell. We do. It's been coming out. And you know, I feel like this guy is perfect for the show because he's the combat. He is the cure for to kill all the talk, all the negativity that wrestling fans get. Joining me today is none other from Top Rope Soap, Dave. Welcome to the show, buddy. Nice to have you on.
Oh, thank you for having me. So a little bit of peek behind the curtain. This, I told you before we went live here. This is my first official podcast interview.
Love it.
But when that behind the scenes countdown started and your intro rolled and your custom theme music kit, I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh my god, this is. I'm here to talk about soap. Like this is all right.
Nah, man, it's cool. Appreciate the good words. Shout out to my brother Montezi. He did the theme song for the show, and it's a really awesome theme song. So thank you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate
man, it was
you.
good. It's good.
But thank you for your time again, and thank you for coming on the show. And like I said, when I was in Vegas, well, before I got to Vegas, one of the guy whose voice you hear first, Matt Andrews, he's the one who told me about Top Rope Soap.
Oh yeah, Matt Andrews.
And how good of a product it is. And lo and behold, when I saw you in Vegas, I was like, oh, that's my chance. Matt's told me about these guys. I'm gonna buy it, check it out, see, support it. If he likes it, I'm gonna give it a chance. Lo and behold, I love it. I absolutely love the soaps. They have some great names. We'll talk about that. They last a long time. We'll talk about that. There's a lot of positive to these things. But first question I have for you is why the concept of Top Rope Soap and making that a wrestling theme soap, because it's kind of niche in a niche.
I gotcha. So I've been a pro wrestling fan. I'm 38 years old. I would say I started watching when I was probably around 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, 30 years I've been watching. I've always dipped in and out of fandom, so, those first few years, through the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression, yeah, I was watching every week. But, as life got busier and things like that, I drifted away a little bit. I came back in, but I would always stay up to date on what was going on, So it's been this constant in my life, pro wrestling, for the last 30 years. No, yeah. So it's always been around.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking basically for a way to get involved. Now that I'm getting a little older, I have a bit more of a steady life. I thought about starting a podcast. I thought about starting some type of video series, something that, where I can contribute to the world of pro wrestling. And I have a friend, a buddy of mine in Ohio who has started selling soap. Him and his wife, they began selling soap. And from what I was seeing, it was was exploding in popularity out there. He had sent me some. I loved it. And I don't know. I was sitting here one day, and it was August of last year. So I've been at this for less than a year. It's about to
Oh,
be a
wow.
year. Yeah, next month. And I was like, there is nothing in the men's grooming world geared towards pro wrestling. There was a company for a brief amount, they might still be around, where they were really getting into the MMA aspect of it, and the what were those t-shirts called that had the tribal print all over them? They were everywhere a couple of years ago.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Whatever that was, whatever that clothing brand was, it was very much that in like a cologne, beard oil, avenue.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, all right, there's nothing in pro wrestling. What can I start? And my original thought was, believe it or not, scented candles. Just because, yeah, believe it or not. So
Hey.
I love a scented candle.
I'm not gonna hold you. That's a good idea.
Yeah, no way. And that might still be coming. But so I thought about scented candles, but then I started looking into what the overhead of something like that is, and then also since fire is involved, basically the safety precautions needed to sell that type of product and what kind of liability you need and whatnot. So I was like, all right, yeah, that's a lot to dive into. And then I remembered my buddy who's making soap. So I contacted him and said, hey, I got a crazy idea. Is there a scenario where I take some of your scents, I give you some custom scent ideas that I have, and you make some soap and I slap pro wrestling branding on it? And he was like, yeah, okay. Because really, he was helping making it and going to all the fairs and whatnot with his wife, but it was his wife's thing, so and so suddenly this was something for him to because he's been a pro wrestling fan. So yeah, he was like, yeah, absolutely. So I launched in September of last year. And the name of the company was originally Kayfabe Co. That was the original name of it. Started at kayfabeco.com. The initial scent bar soap was Kayfabe, which is still around. It's currently sold out, but it's around.
I have it.
There you go. So that was the original signature scent for the company. Then I found out, just in doing the research and starting to get involved in the community, that there are a ton of different retailers using the word kayfabe. There's kayfabe shirts.
Yep.
There's kayfabe cologne. There's kayfabe threads. There's kayfabe. So I was like, all right, let's rethink this, and came up with Top Rope Soap. And since probably about October of last year, that's what we've been doing.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. But speaking of the names, so how did you come up with some of these names? Is it just something like you were just shooting up against the wall?
Here's the thing, so like I said, I tried out some of the bar soaps, the ones I had at the time were the pumpkin spice. I don't know if you have that one. If you had that one,
I don't have
I had
that
a pumpkin
one.
Spice. All right, I'll get it to you this year when it's back in stock.
Bet.
Had the pumpkin spice. I had the mistletoe one, which was like a Christmas one.
Yep.
And then I was looking at I said, send me a list of like some of the ones you make, some of the ones you have made, and just some of the fragrances that you have that you could do something with. And I wish there was some story about how I put more thought into this, but literally I sat there at this desk and I saw patchouli, Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, heel turn. That's my heel turn set.
Wow.
And then I'm like, all right. Then I'm looking at another one, mint and sea salt. And then he described it as very Axe body spray. I went babyface. I said, there you go. So yeah, your patchouli for the heel.
That's crazy.
You got your Axe Bride for the babyface. Then the other ones just sort of fell into place. Then I started coming up with names that I didn't have a scent for yet, but then I just started going on the search for scents. So, for instance, Dusty Finish. I was like, that's a great name for a scent. I was like, so what is Dusty? Polka dots. So I'm sitting there, and when I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the polka dots. I'm throwing together in a Photoshop, like just like a mock-up of what the box would look like. And I'm looking at the polka dots, and I'm like, oh, black and yellow. I was like, vanilla. I was like, yeah, vanilla. All right, vanilla and sandalwood. Let's try that. So I let him know about that. He made it, and that's one of our top sellers now. So yeah, that's
I love Dusty Finish.
thanks.
Seriously.
Brother.
I seriously love it. Out of the ones, that's one of my go-tos. Busted Open is another one.
Yeah.
Which I love those. The woody scents. And yep, I got that one. So both of those I have. So I have Busted Open, Dusty Finish. Another one of my go-tos is one that's kind of new, and it's the Seamus one. Too many rhymes. Bro. That's another one of my go-tos. But
that's one that, like, full transparency. On the internet, I maybe sell 2-3 a week, but when people smell this in person, this is their go-to one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. There's something, I gotta mess around with that. There's something where online the lime scent's not translating well, but with an actual person at WrestleCon, this is one of our top sellers. As soon as people smell it.
That's how I bought mine, because there was another one. Another one of my favorites. I smelled that one at WrestleCon, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna try this one," and I actually ended up really loving it. And that's it's got to be Kane.
Oh yeah,
that's another one of my favorite ones.
Right there.
Yeah.
Now I should make a note as I'm holding up these boxes. So because there's a lot of people that I'm sure are seeing, how the hell is he putting Kane on that box and getting away with it? Well, I spoke to so as you can see, I say Kane, but it's with a C because the scent is peppermint.
Right.
So peppermint Kane. So you do not see Kane in any way in any advertising. You don't see any of the wrestlers unless I have their permission. Like I have Brian Myers' permission to use his likeness. I have the Blue Meanies' permission to use his likeness. I have Busted Open's permission to use Dave LaGreca and the hosts. But the Sheamus one, Too Many Limes, the only way you know that that's a Sheamus one is if you get the joke Too Many Limes.
Yep.
Which I don't know. Do you know the joke for this theme song? You can reference that to Sheamus. Or when you buy it and it arrives and you open it and you go, oh, look, Sheamus is on the front.
Yeah.
That's the only way. So I don't want anybody thinking that like I got into an agreement with WWE or anything like that. That's not the case. I'm not using their likeness for advertising or anything.
Absolutely. JJ?
Jesus, God, we're about to have a heel turn and a Dusty Finish if this laptop keeps cutting out on me again.
I thought it was something I said.
No, but I wanted to ask you about the fragrances that you were talking about, because when Kelvin, put Top Rope Soap on my radar, just like the Choice Matt Andrews, I went and did some research and was like, oh, okay, some of these definitely on my bucket list. So do you guys just ship, or are you selling in stores, maybe just in your area?
No, I'm not selling in any stores. Everything gets shipped out of this spare bedroom in my house. And then I do a lot of local indie events and just different conventions and autograph signings around Long Island and New York.
Nice.
Obviously I went to WrestleCon this year.
Right.
That was by far the largest investment in Top Rope that I've taken to date, was getting out there for that. But yeah, not in stores yet. There's still some, like I was explaining, I get the soap from my buddy, and I have, this room smells amazing. You walk into my house now, like you open my front door and you start walking up the steps, you're like, what's going on? This house smells real good. And then once you walk into this office, it's like, whoa, so I got a lot here, but if we were to eventually get on the shelves, I would have to re-examine what sort of that demand would look like. It's totally doable. It's 100% doable. I would just literally have to figure out the logistics of getting that volume of soap to move.
Mm.
No, I love
Understood.
that. The one thing we do here on No Gimmicks, we like shooting for the moon. So wish you nothing but the best, all of the
Absolutely.
success as well. And yeah, man, just being a small business owner in a sense, what does that mean to you? Because I know I've been listening to some podcasts and talking to some fellow people. There are some people that are really enjoying the grind, and then there are some people that are like, never mind, this life isn't for me. So
No, I love.
kinda, what is that like for you?
I love it. I joke, but it's really not a joke. Because I've been asked, especially at conventions, why I started selling soap, and my go-to answer for a little while was, "It's a great excuse to come to these things." Like, so so suddenly, and now that I'm a registered LLC, it's a tax write-off. So all of these, these autograph signings, these events, these indie events, WrestleCon, things like that. Like I was saying, my fandom drifts in and out, so I don't necessarily think I would have been motivated a year ago to go to WrestleCon, to go to Vegas, to get a hotel room and sit 40,000 feet away from the ring and watch him on a little screen. I wouldn't have done. Actually, I went to WrestleCon. I didn't even go to WrestleMania this year, which is shocking to me, because that's how different path that Top Rope has led me down. Is I was in the city, I was in Vegas, 200 yards from where WrestleMania was, and I had no interest on turning on that event, not because what was going on the event, but I was so focused on what I was bringing to WrestleCon that it felt good. So the drive, I love it so far, and thankfully, knock on wood, I haven't had really any speed bumps, anything. People are loving the product.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Love
And
that.
speaking of Vegas, I think what you said is absolutely right, because I was there too, and that environment, the WrestleCon environment, was just different. Especially it was really different. Um, the magnetism that it was just to that casino in particular, and everything they had going on. GCW was doing shows in there, and you had WrestleCon in the same place. So it's like you can kind of go back and forth. I agree. It wasn't that much interest on WrestleMania, especially with all the indie events, and you had the WrestleCon audience, the crowd. Everything was just, it was all in one place, so you didn't really need to go far, and that was something that I walked away from. And being that I was working too, because I was doing interviews in WrestleCon, it was just like, dude, I could do this forever. Because it was so fun. It was like, I could do this forever. You can meet people, you can get to know different things. You build relationships with people, and it was awesome. That was a once in a lifetime type of trip for me. It really was.
Yeah, and now, so the very first the very first live event I ever went to, selling soap, was in November of last year, which was the big event here on Long Island. I don't know if you guys.
Oh
have heard
wow!
about it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, it's a huge convention that takes place out here. I had only been selling soap online since October of that year, so I launched the kayfabe site in September. I guess September. I didn't really have any traction though, until I gave it a shout out on Reddit, and that was closer to Halloween in November. But yeah, so that first event, so I'm nervous as can be, because it's like, I've never done a craft fair, and that's the mindset that I'm going into, and that's all the advice I'm able to find. I'm Googling, selling soap at an event, what best practices, just stuff like that. And all I'm getting is like, craft fairs and school festivals and like all these different things. So starting off, I was nervous. Like, I was like, am I bringing my table? Am I bringing chairs? Do I need a tablecloth? What does my display have to look like? What kind of signage do I need? I need a cash box. How much bills do I need for change to give out? Like, and then of course, like the night before, I'm like, do I need a towel? Do I need paper towel? Like, what do I need when I'm at this event? Because I've never done this type of event. And anybody that's going to the big event, any other vendor that I see getting advertised on Instagram or whatnot, I think I reached out to like 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, hey man, I'm just looking for advice. And they're selling like autographs and action figures. So they're like, yeah, I go there and I just sort of set everything up. I'm like, all right. Because my product is like, people need to sample it.
They need to try it.
They need to so like they gotta like pick it up. And then like I start Googling like, what's the like health practices? If I have 100 people pick up the same bar of soap and hold it to their nose, what am I supposed to be doing as a good business owner to make sure that that's like safe and clean?
Right.
So like I'm spiraling like leading up to this event. I'm thinking about like all these different things that can go wrong. My buddy Ricky, agrees to come along and help out. Not a wrestling fan at all. But he's done a lot of stuff with pro wrestlers because he's a special effects makeup artist and like a great one, a professional one. He was on Sci-Fi's Face Off. I don't know if you guys remember that show.
Yeah.
So he worked with Gene Snitsky. So he did some work with Gene Snitsky. Gene Snitsky did a movie. And then there's some other wrestlers. Every now and then he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy," and he'll explain because he doesn't put him in wrestling world. He puts him as the guy
that's a client.
Yeah, he sat in a chair for 2 hours, and oh yeah, I turned him into a werewolf. It's like but every now and then, so he agrees to come, nervous as can be, and within 10-15 minutes of the doors opening, my fears are gone because everybody that walked by, I got them to at least smile. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't somebody that walked up and was like, what the hell are you doing here? Like none of that. Everyone was like, soap? And I was like, yeah. A lot of people thought they were like some type of weird, I had Funko Pops on the table at first just to sort of decorate it. People thought I was selling Funko Pops. So a half hour into it, I was like, take the Funko Pops off. Because everybody's coming up and like,
lesson learned already.
Yeah. So they're like, I don't want this, but how much for the Randy Savage? I was like, oh, no. No, I'm not selling that. So yeah, so the reaction right off the gate at the big event, and then from there I went to WrestleFest, which was another autograph convention here. An indie event. I partnered up with Suffolk Wrestling Alliance, which was an indie promotion out here. I've sold soap at their event, and it's funny contacting all these promoters. They don't have these vendors reaching out to them. So there's a little bit of advice. If you are a pro wrestling vendor or you sell a product that you think a pro wrestling audience might be into, reach out to wrestling promoters because I guarantee you the vast majority here in New York are not getting approached about, hey man, can I pay you $50 to set up a table at your event? They're like, what? So that got me into the doors with some indie events here. Yeah, it's just been super positive. And then online, the reaction has been great. It's been great. Did I answer the question? If I start rambling, just JJ, give me like a little like hand signal, like just shorten it up.
Hey, you are perfectly fine. That is what this show is about. At least once or twice, I've got to do that for Kelvin, but he's the host. So I
like the jab. I like the jab. I like it.
Hey, you took a couple at me, so I got to give it back. Which is what we do, right?
That's awesome. But no, Dave, one of the underrated qualities about this soap is the length of time that it actually lasts. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, man. So I now know more about soap than I ever thought I would know in my life. So basically what helps a bar of soap last longer is the curing period. And what that is that after it's all poured and mixed together and sits outside the mold, it sits in the mold, it hardens. Mm-hmm. And the longer you let it harden and the moisture to evaporate, the longer that bar of soap is going to last. So there are some I don't like bad mouthing the competition, but there are some doctors in the men's grooming world who, for a long time, for years and years and years, they were spoken about how long lasting their bars of soap were. And then, coincidentally, they were purchased by a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, and without any official word or notice or anything, if you check their reviews, you can watch that 180 completely. People talking about how the bars no longer last. They last, maybe 10 days with daily use, and then in the shower they're falling apart and they're crumbling in your hand, or they're super slimy. That's another piece of evidence that it wasn't cured as long as it should be. And the reason why manufacturers don't cure it as long as you should is because it allows you to ship it out a lot quicker. So money. I don't know if you want to go as nefarious as saying, oh, well, if it doesn't last as long, they have to buy it more often. Maybe. But to me and others, it definitely seems like that new owner took over and was like, wait a minute, we're making product and it's sitting on our shelves for 5 to 6 weeks, curing, just drying out, when you could ship a bar of soap 2 weeks after it's made and it will stay solid and it'll arrive to the customer's hand and it'll look and smell normal. But it's when it gets activated with the water and whatnot that you're like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't going to last. So all that being said, my bars of soap are cured for minimum 6 weeks. We try to go as long as 8 weeks. And then also with soap, it is a science. You do precise ingredients and things like that, but there are so many uncontrollables in the world, especially at like a lower level. If you are the doctor or the duke or any one of those guys, the soap's being made in an extremely multi-million-dollar controlled environment. Here, for us, it's being made in Ohio. It's basically it's a very nice barn shed. Like, it's completely climate controlled and things like that, and clean and whatnot.
Right.
But, it's him. It's not. He's using the bare tools to create the soap. So sometimes it'll get poured and we'll start the curing process, and then all of a sudden I'll get a notice, got to start over, because 2-3 weeks into it, something starts happening where maybe some of the ingredients start separating in the bar, bit too much humidity in the air, or a bit too much shea butter base was there, and a little bit more, quarter of an ounce more, and that bar is going to be completely different than
what you wanted to be,
what you've sold it to be, obviously. So I'm dealing with a lot of that now. Luckily, my relationship, that's not coming out of me, because a lot of the vast majority of my scents, he sells himself under different names, completely different company, completely different, so I'm sort of piggybacking off all that.
right?
I'm buying from him, and then I'm selling it under me. So when we lose, a whole production line or something like that, yeah, there have been times where I've shot him a couple $100, like, listen, sorry, man, but I'm blessed in the sense that that's not all on me. That's not all on me and some manufacturer that I don't know to go, all right, we got to start over. Here's another $2,500, start again making the soap.
Right.
So yeah, that's we care about our soap. It's still at a level, and I always want it to be at a level where, it's every production line is being examined and made sure that it's the very best. But as far as how long it lasts, I have a coworker. She's basically my work mom. She has the mistletoe one with missile dropkick. So I gifted that to her in November, and it's now July. She only uses it in her powder room to wash hands, or her guests to wash hands. And she gave me a picture of it. She sent me a picture of it. It is still a little sliver So it still exists. Still be there to wash their hands and whatnot. She's not using it in the shower or anything. Certainly wouldn't have lasted months and months and months and months and months in the shower.
Right.
But just wash your hands, once every other day or something like that, whenever somebody uses that powder room. They last a long time, especially if you have a soap dish. So if you put your soap on top of a dish that allows the water to drain away, you'll get weeks and weeks and weeks out of one bar. Which is like I alluded to, maybe not the best business move. Because I have
it's pretty awesome because you don't have to run through a bar, you know what I mean, so fast. And like me, I only bought 2 bars, but I just re-upped, and that was in April. So there's that.
So yeah, I have I'm joking about not being a good business move, but so the vast majority of people buy more than 2 or 3 at a time. Every now and then I get the weird customer that's paying $8 for 1 bar of soap and then $8 for shipping. And I'm like, you could have gotten 2 or 3 and spent the same amount of shipping and save yourself whatever. So vast majority of people are buying 3 or 4 at a time. And with each one lasting, minimum 3 weeks in the shower, that's 3 months. Let's just make it easy numbers. 3 months until that customer is going to be ready to see me again.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by maybe it's not the best business move, but yeah, they last.
It creates loyalty, though.
That's true.
I was just about to piggyback off of what Kelvin was saying, because when you have that loyal fan base that they know your product, they know the quality of it, not only are they going to be itching to come back and order again in 3 months, but now that word of mouth is going to get out and be like, hey, before you go check out XYZ brand, you might want to check out Top Rope Soap. And then boom, now you possibly open the avenue for somebody else. And then that's a domino effect. And we've seen what a domino effect can cause. So it is only a matter of time until you are just having orders on orders on orders, my friend.
Thank you, buddy.
Absolutely. And I'm glad to say we're the first podcast that interviews you once that happens.
Yeah, brother. I mean, I've gotten at some of these events, some of these influencers have come up to me and, interviewed me for 2 minutes. But to actually sit down here long form and talk about it, yeah, you guys are the first.
Absolutely. Love it, man. Love it. Love it.
But there's been a lot of firsts for us here on No Gimmicks.
It has been. It has been. And I'm not mad at it at all. But speaking of names, we have some pay-per-views coming up. SummerSlam's coming up. Have you thought of these major events, kind of naming something geared towards a major event?
So I have insight into how this runs. It's me. My wife helps out while she can. She works in the theater, so she's building props for the theater, for professional theater, which is really cool. Sometimes I walk out of my bedroom and there's a briefcase of money on my table, and for a split second I'm like, well, what is this? And then I realized, oh, it's all fake. Or the other night I got home and there's a birthday cake on the table. It's not my birthday, but I'm like, that cake, well, all right, she baked me a cake. It's not real. So she's busy in that world, making things for the stage. But it's just me. So the reason why I bring this up is because I have my goal over the next couple of months, and I got to get it going, is I would love to start live streaming every Monday, every Wednesday, or at least every PLE, and just do things, or pay-per-view if it's not WWE, and just start doing things where if there's a heel turn is 25% off.
Oh,
if there's a cage match is 25% off. Someone got busted open is, really create that sort of watch along interactive, I want to start doing that.
That's a good idea.
Some of my promotions that I've tried to start doing, for instance, Forbidden Door, I did Forbidden Odor. For Halloween, I did Hygiene Havoc. Instead of Halloween Havoc.
That's awesome.
Survivor Series, I did Shower Series. June, we did a King of the Ring sort of knockoff where it was the Shower Cap Classic, and everybody voted on the top. So I try to incorporate whatever the big event is for that month into at least some sort of promotion that'll go on, some type of deal. So I'm sure I'll come up with something for All In, so maybe get 4 for a special price, so you're all in on buying Top Rope soap, something like that. SummerSlam, maybe Shower Slam, I don't know, something. Yeah.
First of all, I like Shower Slam. That's okay. An excellent name. And that is a very good idea. If you do that, consider me a subscriber.
100% agree, especially if you do the live stream on these events. I will definitely be there. It's always fun to have a good watch party. And Kelvin and I, we've experienced that being involved in the independent scenes down here with Metroplex Wrestling, seeing the online audiences, whether it's through YouTube or Twitch or Facebook, it's so much fun to see the chat interact and actually enjoy what they're watching, but still building a community at the same time.
Yeah.
I got that. That live stream, it just seems like such an obvious idea. Like, I'm surprised, separate from soap, I'm surprised no one has gamified pro wrestling watch along yet. Meaning, like, all right, if I have a group of 100 people watching with me, what can we do in reaction to what's transpiring on the screen? A heel turn, a face turn, a run in.
Yeah.
Someone getting bloodied, a ladder spot, a table spot, whatever. Because that's what we're all waiting for when we watch these events. Yeah, we're watching for great match, but we're watching for those moments, right? So, yeah, that just seems like an obvious one to me that I really want to get going, but it's just me. It's just me. It's just me behind this Top Rope brand. And I gotta, as I like to say at these events, I got a shoot job. So that takes up a lot of my time, so I'm not always free every Monday night. I'm not always free every Wednesday night.
Right.
But that's my goal over the next couple of months, is to really start expanding my content output for Top Rope, because that's the only way this thing's going to grow. Every time I post, I do a collab with Brian Myers, or just announced today, Boomini. That's why I got that on the BWO shirt. There's an explosion. There's an explosion of interest. All their fans come over. I gain so many followers. I get so many purchases. The algorithm picks up, oh, people are interested in Top Rope, and starts putting out some of the older reels and whatnot to people, and those start gaining interest. It's you can literally look at the timeline and go, okay, yep, there's the Brian Myers and Boomini, and whatever WrestleCon, whatever sparked the debate. So I say all that because the more I get to do things like this, you guys having me on, that's my goal. Because every time wrestling fan finds out Top Rope exists, they're into it.
Yep. This is exactly what happened to me. Once I found out about it, I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is awesome, and I'm a fan. So yeah, definitely jump in and do that, because that is a very good way to grow. JJ?
Man, we talked about SummerSlam, and while we're here, we're all wrestling fans, in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts going into this year's SummerSlam? First of all, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the first year that SummerSlam is a 2-night event?
Yes.
So let's start there. What are your thoughts on that? These 2-night events?
I think they've been going on long enough, WrestleMania, where I'm okay with it now. I understand the financial reasoning for it, the logistical reasoning for it. You're bringing hundreds of thousands. WWE is bringing thousands of people to put on this event, between the wrestlers and the crew, the truck drivers, and yada yada yada, and it's all over in 24 hours. So now that they're doing the 2 events and they're doing the fan conventions beforehand and all that stuff, I get why they want more bang for their buck, bringing everybody, into these locations. I don't know how I feel about everybody gets to participate now. You know what I mean? Like, it's 2 nights, so there's a spot for everybody. Because now, in the old days, if somebody didn't make it on the WrestleMania card or the Sunday Night Heat card, you would notice, but it wasn't the end of the world. And now they might be shooting themselves in the foot, because if you can't get on a 2-night WrestleMania or a 2-night SummerSlam, you're doubly fucked.
Yep.
So it makes me wonder how maybe some of the boys and girls, or the women, are taking that, like when they miss their opportunity. We get the Andre. Did they do the Andre Battle Royal this year?
They did it on Smack. It's a SmackDown.
Yeah, so I don't know why that's a thing.
Yeah, like that's another thing. Like, you have these moments that are like made and geared for one thing, but then because you have so much going on, more of it ad and commercial than actual wrestling. But that's another conversation for another day. It's like,
no, we can have this one today.
Well, we could, but it's like the Andre the Giant Memorial. Oh, okay, now we're gonna put that on the SmackDown before WrestleMania, and it may or may not be a hit.
And it's because of the way that the schedule works out, it's on the same night as the Hall of Fame, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
And then you also kind of lose the credibility, because once upon a time, winning a match like that meant something to, the guys and the women in the back. But now it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's another accolade under the belt, but what's the substance for it? Because
that doesn't mean anything. It stops getting spoken about a month after WrestleMania. I cannot. If you offered me, okay, this is 100% genuine. If you offered me $10,000 right now to tell you who won this year's Andre the Giant Battle Royal,
couldn't do it.
I can think. Let me legitimately try. My guess would be of who I would have maybe put in that position would be in Oba, but it wasn't him.
Nope.
Braun Breaker. Was it him?
Nope.
Was it Grande Americano?
Nope.
All right, so who was it?
Royce Keys.
That's right. Okay, I do remember that happening. All right.
It was Royce Keys. No
disrespect to him. What's going on with him right now?
He's in a story on Raw with it's Raw and SmackDown. He's in a story with the Bloodline right now. Because him and Jacob Fatu have history.
Yeah.
They've been playing on that. And they've actually been pushing him into a more prominent role, which I'm kind of happy about.
Good. Yeah.
But if you're asking my opinion about WrestleMania for me, it was good in the sense that Vegas was a good trip. Vegas was cool. The WrestleMania aspect of it, I was like, we don't need any more of these 2-night events. We don't. Because night one was essentially a commercial.
Right.
And you had a main event at the end of that. Night two it felt like it was I was actually in the building for night two. I didn't go night one. Night two felt like WrestleMania in all aspects. It did. In the building, it felt like WrestleMania. You don't need this for the rest of your pay-per-views. You don't need it for SummerSlam. You don't need it for Royal Rumble.
The problem, and it's not a problem, but the reason why is because these cities are throwing so much money at WWE.
So much money. Yep.
So I mean, and you can't fault them for wanting the $200 million payday. Whatever a crazy number it might be. Right. All right, yeah, you're gonna pay us $200 million to put on two events. And a few lead up shows, okay, as opposed to the $500,000 rental fee for the arena. I'm sure it's more than that for the arena, and whatever else it may be. All right, Sure. I mean, I'm used to them at this point. I hope we don't start seeing like 2-night Royal Rumbles.
We're gonna.
No.
They've
With
already
the
announced
ladies.
that for next year.
Really?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, it's a 2-night
So-
Royal Rumble.
You're lying to me.
Are they?
Yeah, it's a 2-night Royal Rumble.
Oh my god.
Are you sure?
No, I'm serious.
So what? The main event of night 1 is the women's Royal Rumble, and the
That's
main
what I'm
event of
thinking.
night 2 is the men's Royal
I
Rumble.
don't know what they're gonna do.
Because
But
the Royal Rumble is already like 3 matches plus the Royal Rumble.
yeah, they've already announced that.
That's some bullshit. Oh my god.
But they're trying to figure out where they're gonna have it. So the spots up for it now, I think one is Phoenix, the other is Miami. Those are
Right.
the spots. But yeah, you're gonna be looking at a 2-night Royal Rumble.
So would you guys rather than a 2-night, 4 hours each night event, would you rather a 1-day, 8-hour event?
Give me that. But I'll tell you why I say give me that. Because All In 2025, 8 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
A phenomenal event though. it was amazing. Give me that. If you're gonna give me wall to wall action for 8 hours, I'll deal with that. I may be tired, but I will deal with that and have fun the whole way through. I swear I would. All In 2025 taught me a lesson because I was like, bro, this is a work day until I got there. And I was like, oh, holy shit, this is awesome. This is awesome. So if it's going to be a banger event, yes, give me that.
I think if I was given the pencil and full control, not even of stories, but of direction, I think my approach to things would be, all right, if Cody Rhodes is fighting CM Punk at SummerSlam, Cody and CM Punk don't have to be in the ring every single week leading up to the show.
Nope.
That match sells itself. You can do a pre-taped minute promo with the two of them. Yeah, every other week maybe there's an in-ring segment where they call them out and whatnot. They just certainly don't need to be having matches. Saturday night's main event. Certainly. So what I would do is I would definitely shorten the pay-per-view window, 1-night events, and I would use the in-between to sort of build my future pay-per-view. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense.
So, because I think because I joked, everybody gets the trophy, everybody gets an opportunity to be on the card. You need to give guys the opportunity to get over. But a pay-per-view, a championship match, and Andre the Giant Battle Royal, it should feel like a prize and not just something.
I'm just here to do it. Yeah.
I'm just here to do it because I was in the back and they need a body.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
JJ, keep stirring the pot. What you got?
I mean, I was sitting there thinking about the answer to that question that y'all just asked about the 8-hour 1 day or the 2 days, and going back to, I'm trying to remember the last WrestleMania in New Orleans that I went to that was 8 hours. Was it 34? Because 30 was the first time they went to New Orleans, and I was there for that. I want to say it was 34.
Yeah, it's probably 34.
So going back to that, like that was also similar to All In. That was an all-day thing. I remember me and the boys, we got there, the sun was still out, the kickoff show was going on, the countdown was happening. Then the main card started about 5:30, 6 o'clock. We didn't leave the Superdome until almost 10-something, 11. Very similar to All In Texas, getting out there with the boys around 12 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock. Didn't leave there until almost 9, 10 o'clock in the evening. But both builds, it felt like, yes, it's a long day, it's a grind. But when you have quality matches, storytelling, you have the crowd engaged. It's like, yes, sign me up for that all the time. But when you start to throw in here's an ad, here's a commercial, here's a backstage segment, here's a gimmick match that could have happened on Raw or SmackDown or Collision, but we put it on this main show.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, okay, you're losing me because this was a bathroom break. But
Right.
really, was it needed? Because you take the momentum out. And Kelvin and I, we experienced this not too long ago with TNA. We went to Genesis when they came down here to Texas, and they started off hot right out the gate. And we are like, oh, yes, we're locked in. Couple matches later, it was like, what are we doing? Why? How did this make the show? Because now the life is kind of drained out of the building. And then, thankfully, because they had the Hardys that night, the Hardys came out and it was like, oh, resurgence. But without the Hardys or an element of that nature, it's almost like you lose the crowd and everybody's just ready to go home at that point.
Yeah.
It's a balance. It's definitely a balance.
Has there ever been, I don't think WWE's ever done it, maybe New Japan or someone has done it, where like an event started at like 9 a.m., but then there was an intermission. And, like indies do it all the time, it's a 20-minute intermission. But I'm talking like hour and a half, 2-hour intermission, something like that. Has anybody ever done that?
Not that I know of. I know New Japan, they do it a lot. When they come to the States, they will give you an intermission. They'll give you a time to recollect yourself, and they'll come back to it. And it's usually about 30, 45 minutes. But big majors, nah, I haven't seen that. I don't think you will see that because the way TV time works, that'll probably be that sort of dips the toe into. I could have a 4-hour conversation about how the WWE Network. Oh my God! Oh,
probably the biggest.
We don't deserve it. We did not deserve that network.
When that was out and that was announced, I was so excited. I was like, man. And then they did the Beast in the East event. Do you remember that one? That was Brock Lesnar in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. I wanted more. I wanted so much more of that. I wanted like random house shows to be televised. I wanted, back then, Saturday's Main Event wasn't really an annual thing or a returning thing yet. Saturday's Main Event, but then this Beast in the East. So I thought it would be cool with this WWE Network if there was an event WrestleMania morning, WrestleMania wake up, or something like that, 2-3 matches, lighthearted, Hornswoggle, and all this stuff to just sort of
get you ready.
And then all of a sudden there's an hour of studio talk, interviews, yada yada yada. Then an hour of recap of what has happened to lead up to WrestleMania, and then WrestleMania starts. Where there's some sort of break. And when they controlled where the show was getting put out, WWE Network, it could have been done. They could have completely revolutionized the watching experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still mad about WWE Network. I'm still.
Yeah.
I'm so upset that got taken for granted. It's seriously. Because, man, the concept was there, especially if you look at where they are now with the ESPN deal, and they have all the Netflix deal. Bro, the WWE Network was everything right there. You had it all right there. And then you have companies like AAA now in the fold. I hear Lucha Underground's rebuilding itself back up. That's part of the AAA brand. You have these
That's
companies.
Okay, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys watch Lucha Underground?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
That you want to talk about revolutionizing things? That was when that started. I was like, I'm all in. The cinematic, you gotta, when you watch pro wrestling by itself, you gotta sort of separate yourself from the fakeness of it all, the theatrics of it all. Lucha Underground needed you to do that one more time, because now not only was it not in front of a live crowd, but these 3-camera cinematic shots and editing and things like that. but they went all in on it. So it worked. You know, if they just sort of dabbled, like WWE dabbled with the graveyard match or the boneyard match, whatever it's called, it works. You know, the funhouse match, it works, but that's them dipping their toes, you know, into that presentation.
Right.
Lucha Underground, man, that was. I hope that's correct, and they're coming back because
me too.
A modern,
Line me up.
modern version of that, please.
Yes, please. And one of my favorite matches ever is Pentagon Jr. versus Io Shirai.
Yeah, she beats the shit out of him.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's one of my favorite matches ever. And I'm like, bro, there's so many people that are stars now that came up in Lucha Underground. And it's phenomenal, man. So I hope they bring it back.
Yeah, man. And then Dario Cuoto. How do you say his name? Dario.
Oh, Dario Cuoto. Yeah.
That was it, right? He's in MLW now, right?
Yep. Speaking of MLW, MLW is high key becoming one of the brands to watch. They really are.
There was just Baron Corbin returned, but now he just showed back up in MLW.
Yep. As Baron Corbin. Cool.
All right. I'm all for that, man. I mean, 2026, you gotta, you know, I understand why in the 80s and even the 90s, every promotion pretended like the other ones didn't exist. I get it. Because you would really only know that the other ones existed if you tape traded, you know, or subscribed to the newsletters or the magazines or something like that. But 2026, I mean, there is a way for crossover and everybody to get their piece of the pie, everyone to be happy, and yeah, maybe he's gonna lose over there. All right, so what? He comes back, he wins. Like, the fans are smart enough now to know. Like, there's not an MLW fan now that watched Baron Corbin come back as Baron Corbin and is thinking to themselves, like,
how did he do that?
Yeah, right. An agreement was made.
Yeah, why is his name Baron Corbin?
Right.
Oh my God.
Everyone knows where he went. Everyone knows why he's back under that name.
Right.
An agreement was made where pro wrestling fans are a lot smarter in 2026.
Yeah.
Have been for decades. You know, stop treating us like children.
Agreed, man.
Right.
Agreed.
Even more so now, especially, you know, with this whole, but letting people in behind the scenes. Because, you know, at one point in time, it was like, you know, we know it's scripted, obviously, but there was a point in time where you got to protect the business, you got to protect the brand, it's this secrecy, right? But now we're in this era where more and more like, hey, here's the door, come peek behind and see what actually goes on, you know.
Well, that's the so you're never going to put the genie back in the bottle, right?
No, not at all. Not with that.
You're never going to put it back in. People they now know it's predetermined, and these guys are characters and talk about things beforehand and yada yada yada. But you got like WWE Unreal, and in my opinion, that is a scripted television show.
I kind of want to agree with you there.
In my opinion, there's
I want to agree with you.
Even if they're painting themselves in you know, not the best light, you know, with some things, as far as, you know, Triple H's decision making or, you know, something like that. It's all about reaction. It's all about getting spoken about on social media. They got editors. Those editors know what they're doing. They know, especially Netflix editors, they know how to keep people. Do you want to start the next episode? Are you still watching? Yes, I am. Like, let's go. Let's keep it going.
Yes. Yes.
I think, you know, WWE Unreal is WWE's modern attempt to provide a kayfabe filter to things, you know, where, okay, yep, you guys know it's predetermined. Here you go. Here's everything that's predetermined. Yep, here's us talking in the conference room and yada, yada, yada. Oh my God, we hate Chelsea Green. We're never going to push Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green's terrible. Blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden,
Who
trending on
reacted
X,
to this?
it's Chelsea
Who reacted
Green.
to this?
Oh my God, they're against Chelsea Green. Support Chelsea Green. Cheer Chelsea Green. Oops, we made a star? Like, you're telling me that wasn't thought about before you went into that?
Smoke
Oh
and
yeah,
mirrors.
this is predetermined. These guys don't really hate each other. But CM Punk didn't like that guy's comment about that one thing, and now if that gets alluded to,
On
a
the
month from
show,
now on Raw,
then-
oh shit, that's real.
Yep. Inject a little bit of realism in there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's great. It's entertaining. It's entertaining.
Always working. Always working. Oh man, but we've gone a while. So I definitely want you back though.
Okay.
Before we get out of here, please let the people know where they can find you and where they can find Top Rope Soap so we can plug as much as we can.
Yeah, man. So topropesoap.com and on all the socials at Top Rope Soap. Yeah, man. It's soap for pro wrestling fans. I'm wearing my BWO shirt because just a few hours ago we announced Meanie's Blue Bath, which is a blueberry cotton candy soap.
Freak of nature.
Yeah, man. It is blue. It smells sweet. It smells like blueberries. My wife loves it. My friends love it. Try to get it out of the box. There we go. Here it is right here. All right. Is there a better bar soap for the Blue Meanie? I don't think so.
Not at all.
A gorgeous bar.
Thank you, buddy. Smells great. Smells like blueberries, and that sweetness of cotton candy. It's got sea salt and oatmeal in it for exfoliation. But yeah, check us out. Let me know. You can put a note in the order if you heard from this show. Maybe let's add a promo code. Let's add a promo code for your listeners.
Let's do that.
Let's do what do you want to call it? Let's call it no gimmicks. How's that?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Promo code.
Promo
no
code.
gimmicks.
No gimmicks. We'll do like 20% off an order.
Absolutely.
There you go. I'll put that up right now.
I appreciate that.
No problem. Man.
We are going to plug away.
There you go. So no gimmicks with an S.
Yes.
All right. Or we could do no gimmick. It's up to you. Whatever you guys want to do.
No gimmicks.
I mean, no
Let's
gimmicks.
do no gimmicks.
Make them work. They got to put the S in it.
They got to put the S at the end.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Love that.
JJ, you haven't tried my soap yet?
Not yet, but as soon as my
what-
paycheck hits
what's
next
up, man?
week,
Give me your address.
look, my co-host. There's this
Get
thing
me your
going on.
address.
Send them
Send
your
me your
address, JJ.
I'm
Send
gonna
'em-
send
got
it to you, but here's the thing. Okay, my co-host likes to throw me under the bus a lot.
I did nothing
I
today.
don't know if you knew or not, but
I
my
did
co-host left me out to dry to tangle with zombies by myself. All right, just saying.
Okay.
I did
Yeah.
nothing. I didn't. I was minding my own business. I was gonna
Exactly.
say, actually, I have some soaps here, but if Davis got you, then Davis got you. Send him your
Yeah,
address.
I'll send them some.
You live down the house, down the street. Can't even.
That's
Oh,
what
wait
I
a minute.
said.
Hold
I
on.
said.
We'll be
Wait
in
a minute.
touch, Dave.
All right, sounds good.
Oh man, but once again, man, appreciate you. Once again, if you have anything you want to promote, the door is always open for you, man. So definitely appreciate your time. Definitely enjoyed the conversation. We got to have you back on.
Yes,
We got to have you back on.
Whenever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Whenever.
JJ, any final words, sir?
All I can say is, I guess because it's Kelvin's show, he's the baby face. I'm the heel turn. It's fine. Give me the steel cage finish if you can. That'd be great. That was on my radar. But thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure. Cannot wait to try the soap, Top Rope Soap. Make sure, listeners, if you hear this, use that promo code, no gimmicks. Go check it out. Support any way you can. And that's all I got.
All right.
There you go.
If you guys got nothing else, I got nothing else. So thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you enjoy this episode. And again, go to topropesoap.com, pick up some soaps, get the 5-pack. Don't be cheap. Get the 5-pack.
It's not a matter of being cheap. Just don't pay for shipping if you're shipping
That part.
2 bars. Like,
That part.
Get your money's worth.
I figured that out on the first run. I'm like, I'm just gonna get the 5, bro. Like, but thank you guys for tuning in. As we always say here, be safe, take care of each other, enjoy what you're gonna enjoy. Peace.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks, gimmicks.